Hello, so I wanted to talk a little bit about paranoia and the problems it gives me with cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT. So, paranoia is basically just unrealistic thoughts. I guess that's the extremely simplified definition. According to Google here, it says paranoia is delusions of persecution, unwarranted jealousy, or exaggerated self-importance. And it can be caused by a lot of things. You know, mine is definitely an anxiety thing. My anxiety kind of always wants to turn me into the victim, you know. And that's just not a good way to live, always feeling like a victim of everyone else's actions. Back when my social anxiety was worse, I could not walk past anybody without thinking that they were staring at me, judging at me. In school, walking past a group of laughing teenagers, you know, the instant paranoid thought is they're laughing at you, you know. And, you know, that's just not really that true. People have their own lives. Some of the best advice I've ever heard is imagine everyone as the character of their own story. So you're just passing through, just a random side character, or not even, just a nameless character walking by. They're not paying attention to you. Just the same as you wouldn't be paying any attention to them if, you know, paranoia weren't causing me to worry that everyone's laughing at me. It also causes problems in dating, thinking people are looking for excuses to break up with me, or picking fights on purpose. And then the victim thing comes back. If people unintentionally upset you, you know, your paranoid brain, or I guess my paranoid brain always jumps to, you know, they hate you, they're trying to pick a fight with you because they want you out of their life. And again, it's not true. People do things on accident. I know I've done plenty of things to accidentally upset people. And it's just really, really hard always feeling like a victim. Like, it just kind of feels like you're stuck in this hopeless rut. And everything's happening to you, and it's hard to get out of that mentality, that way of thinking. So I'm trying to apply mindfulness to these situations, to try to, you know, tell myself I'm not being victimized, you know. People aren't intentionally, against me. The world isn't against me. Of course, I'm a victim of mental illness, but I'm not a victim of other people's actions. I mean, of course, there are people out there who are truly victims of other people's awful actions, but I'm not one of them. I just happen to suffer from paranoia. and it really, really sucks. 'Cause people seem to think like I want to be the victim. Like, I don't like to feel this way. It's hard on me, and I know it's hard on people around me. And I'm aware of it, but it's a hard thing to get control of. I think I just need to be met with empathy, you know, instead of criticism. Just because I'm paranoid, that doesn't make my feelings invalid. You know, and the same goes for anyone else. Paranoia doesn't invalidate your feelings. And it's not an excuse to be a jerk to people, but it's an explanation for why you feel the way you do. And that's not something that should be looked on so harshly and just criticized. It should be met with empathy, because it is an awful condition to live with. And like I said, I'm completely aware of it, but sometimes my paranoid brain just takes over, like, just takes the wheel, and I'm pretty much forced to just watch it drive me straight off a cliff, and I gotta, you know, pick up the pieces in the aftermath, and that's not fun. You know, nobody likes having to clean up after their own mess, and when you know it could have been avoided by just not being paranoid, then it's even worse. But then again, it's not really possible to just not be paranoid, because it's a mental illness. You can't just wish it away, no matter how much you wish you could. It's something that's got to be worked on, and this has given me a lot of problems with CBT. As much as it's helped me a bit with some of my anxiety, paranoid brain likes to take over, and it always has to be right, you know. So I can say to myself, say I'm walking past a group of people and they start laughing, so I can say to myself logically, they're not paying any attention to me, they don't care, they're not laughing at me. And then paranoia comes in and says, well, what if they are, you know? And that's, to me, what paranoia is. It's the what ifs building up and turning into, that is definitely what is happening. And trying to talk myself down by just the CBT skills is really difficult. I mean, trust me, I've tried desperately, and so I'm hoping that starting a different type of therapy. I'm working on mindfulness right now, and I think I'm gonna ask to start working on DBT, just because I think it would be really helpful for my anxiety. So I'm hoping with the change I'm going to be able to get better control of paranoia. But if you are dealing with paranoia, you know, it's not your fault. Don't be so hard on yourself. And if you know someone who's dealing with paranoia, you know, have a bit of empathy. Don't be so quick to judge them.